Hey, my friends, it's Jeremy Osterberger with BIC Magazine. Today, I'm joined by Eric John, CEO of Ironclad Environmental Solutions. Hey, Eric, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Glad to do it.
Eric, man, I got to ask you right off the bat, you got a lot of books behind you. How many of those did you read?
I read every single one of them. Although my wife's an interior designer, so she actually put every single one of them up there exactly where they're supposed to be. So I read them, she puts them up. So
Eric, we have similar tastes in women, my friend. My wife does the same thing, so a pretty cool connection there. There we go.
absolutely.
But cool, man. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. Look, we're talking about Ironclad Environmental Solutions. Eric, give us just the quick skinny. How did this name come about?
Yeah, so I'll give kind of the quick nickel tour. So you got really two businesses coming together, renaming each one of them into one. So you had the legacy mobile mini tank and pump solutions business that was sold to Kinderhook back late last year. And then we actually just acquired the Adler tank rental business here a couple of months ago. So we're about 60 days into that. So we took the names of Adler and mobile mini tank and pump solutions and really just hired a rebranding firm. And Ironclad Environmental Solutions is kind of where it came from. And they did a wonderful job. Actually, we had a couple of folks internally recommend the name, and just kind of speaks to kind of the equipment we're in and the industry that we're in, and kind of how we try to treat customers and things like that.
So there's a lot, Eric, but give our audience some understanding of your service offering.
Yeah, so the service offering basically just got even better than it was in the past. So I think we've got a fleet of roughly, I would say, going on about 30,000 assets all the way across the country now. So as opposed to having the mini business was very geographically challenged, the Adler business had a lot better footprint. So when you put them together, you've got a full national footprint that we're pretty excited about. We've got customers that have been wanting us to be in certain markets that we weren't in, and now we are in those markets. So it's really exciting to be able to service the clients that way. But from a service offering perspective, I would think more of what we've been doing. Obviously, the asset side from a rental perspective with boxes and tanks and tankers, pumps, filtration, ancillary hoses, stuff like that. In addition to the service lines that we've been in, as far as not only do we pick up and deliver the equipment, we'd also love doing like local waste hauls and things like that. Because again, a lot of our clients, if you send a piece of equipment, they're going to put something in it. So that's an added layer of service that we're going to continue to grow and build on, especially because we've went to the market and actually polled our clients and said, what do you want us to do? And they all said, we want you in more markets, we want you to have more equipment, and we want you to haul more waste for us. And so we're not trying to go reinvent the wheel. We're just going to do what the clients would want us to do. And it's been a success. So far, so good.
So to be clear, yeah, you are providing some waste collection and transportation services as well.
We are. It's not the biggest portion of our trucking business, but we do quite a bit of it. Mostly it's on, I would say, dedicated for the blue chip type customers, where we have like a national MSA. We've been really strong there because a lot of times they have very high volume work. So it just fits in our sweet spot because we're picking up and delivering anyway. And a lot of times they might want us to make a couple local landfill runs, very dedicated. It's just a great opportunity for us. And for our clients, it also gives them the ability to pick and choose where their waste goes. They like having the optionality to say, hey, I might want to send it to this landfill today, this one tomorrow. And we're agnostic. We provide the equipment, we'll provide the service, and then the client can get billed directly for the landfill fees. So it works out great for us, and it works out great for the clients.
Eric, I want to get into quality control. Talk about your hydro testing of your equipment and how do you maintain that quality?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do, it's a little unique. I know, some competitors do it, some don't. There's always that, it didn't leak on the last rental. Do you want to send it back out again? And but we really err on the side of let's make sure we catch the leaks at the facilities, at the branches. And so we've got our not all of our facilities, but I'd say the majority are either doing it in some shape or fashion. Some have more capacity than others. Especially the ones in the Gulf Coast can do multiple pieces of it at the same time. So we can really churn out a lot of equipment. But, when we send out a piece of equipment, it has to work. And if it doesn't work back at the branch, we want to make sure we catch that leak right there. That's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. It's a little more work, it's a little more effort, but we want to make sure that when it goes out the door, that it's actually going to do what it's supposed to do. And so, again, you call your name, when you call your company Ironclad, you kind of have to hold yourself to a pretty good standard. And we do that quite a bit all over the country. And so we're really excited to continue that process as far as providing quality equipment and things of that nature. So it's just who we are.
Erica, you're right. And to add to what you're saying, you talk about standards. Also, what's happening is, transition to more digital visibility, right? For these owner operators, whether they're at a refinery, petrochemical plant, power facility, pulp and paper facility, whatever it may be, renewable diesel site. Talk about Envirotrack. What is a benefit to Ironclad's customers in relationship to, tracking equipment, GPS location of equipment? Tell us about Envirotrack.
Yeah, so it's a home built system that we created on our own. I think it's with the help of a customer, actually, a very very large customer of ours. And think about it in terms of two things. First, you have what we consider more of a rental consumption tool. It's a portal. Clients can log in, they can check on their POs, check on their invoices, that sort of thing. How many pieces do they have on rent? Rental consumption is the first piece. The second piece of it is we help them proactively manage their 90-day yards and proactively manage what they put into our equipment. So that's just a platform that we provide to them, and it's just that they can use it, they can dispatch drivers through it, things like that. But it also helps them, as far as getting any, mitigating any fines that they might get on their 90-day yards, things of that nature. So we also have some capabilities with it where we can embed GPS into it too. So where the client can have, we have one particular client that's got a number of stainless steel tank trailers that they have all over the country. But they get one login, they have 70 tank trailers all over the country, but they know exactly where they are at any one point in time. And so it's a really big value for the customer to know, oh, wait, I misplaced this. This is an expensive asset. I can go find it. In addition to so you have, and I would say it's kind of part and parcel down around kind of good, better, best. I mean, we have some that just want to get in there and figure out what their POs are. We have some that want it to truly run their business from an environmental perspective. And so that's where we provide the platform to the client, and we're the beneficiary of it from a rental perspective and a trucking perspective. But we've seen a lot of clients, it's counterintuitive, but actually us providing the data, the platform actually helps them proactively manage their spend with us. So fortunately for the client, we get equipment back because they get more efficient with the data. And so we like that. It helps us provide more value to the customer. And so that's one of the things that we continue to do, especially, and we'll continue to build on the platform of Envirotrack as we continue to grow Ironclad.
Yeah, interesting point about using the platform at different levels. That's an interesting insight. So Eric, we talk about the branding, the name. What about leadership? Has there been any changes in leadership, and what type of leadership enhancements have taken place at Ironclad?
Well, I think the most obvious would be kind of at the executive level. I think you had a legacy business that was when we carved out a mobile mini. The majority of us, actually all of us, are really still here. We have had to make a couple of additions. We did make the addition of a CFO. It was a gentleman that we had worked with. His name is Scott Sailors. We had worked with him previously, so it's great to have him rejoin our team. We have a very small, tight executive team. We did also bring in a gentleman named Dane Bettinger to run the eastern side of the operational side. So with the businesses combining and doubling, we recognized that we had a need for additional leadership. So those are really the only two that we've had a couple other ones that have joined from outside of the organization as well. But as you get further down into the organization, we've actually had a lot of people kind of come up and get promoted with the Adler team coming together. It's been a wonderful culture mix. If you didn't know who these folks were previously, and we're all so wired the same way. It's been great. We've created a lot of opportunities for a lot of people, and we've got a number of promotions that have happened within the first 60 days. And we anticipate more of that in the future, but no real major other roles that'll be added in at this point. But yeah, pretty well built out on the executive leadership team.
That's great, Eric. Thanks for giving us an update there. So, Eric, let's crystal ball this a little bit. What does the future look like for Ironclad, and what can industry expect from the company down the road?
Yeah, I think, we spent a lot of time and effort. Really, it's how do you want to grow the business, right? I think what you are going to see is us continue to focus more on the environmental solutions piece of the business. That's where you're going to see us focus. It's where we're getting pulled more and more to, not just providing the assets and the trucking, but also some of the other services that come with that as well. But I hate to say it, the world is, from a customer perspective, it's the blocking and tackling stuff that's really right in front of us. Is they want more equipment, they want more locations, and they want us to haul waste. So I think those are the three things you can see from us, whether it's some, again, additional, maybe some accretive M&A tuck-ins where we have some gaps. We have a very, very good footprint, but there are still some pockets of some locations. We probably are going to open up, I'd say probably 6 to 8 locations over the next few years. I think that's number one. Again, we'll probably do some accretive M&A with that as well. But again, we're going to continue to expand the services into the trucking space. It's a business that we know we're good at it, and for what we like to focus on. And when you look at our NPS scores and CES scores, we score in I think the mid 80s, which is like world class. So we have a great platform. When you're running out of equipment and capital investment was tight in the past, now we kind of joke that we are the main character, because we had two businesses that were competing for capital within two much larger organizations. And so we're used to running very lean and scrappy and making every bit use of our CapEx investments. And now you pull it together, and now we have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. We get a chance to go do a lot of the wonderful things that have maybe been a little unable to go do when we were embedded in larger organizations. And that's on the Adler team. That's with the mini team. And so it's I think we're just excited to go grow. I think we don't have to go do anything transformative. It's some of the things that can get us to the goals that we're trying to get to are very simple, and they're right in front of us. And a lot of times it's just going and making that call on the customer that said, "Hey, I worked with you here in maybe the Gulf Coast, but we have a facility in California. Can we work with you out there?" It's the work is there for us. We just really have to go and kind of make the introduction and let them know we do a good job for you here. We'd love to do a good job for you there.
That's right. Eric, I had a fun time hanging out with you. Always like seeing you, and certainly welcome you back on in the future.
Absolutely. Glad to do it.
So look, if folks want to find out more about Ironclad Environmental Solutions, visit ironcladenvironmental.com. Hey, as always, we're so grateful for our audience. Please like and share this recording with colleagues. And for more industry news, videos, and webinars and podcasts, visit bicmagazine.com. Remember, everybody, it's what we do together that counts.